All right, welcome to Sunday Skills Exchange. Um, we have on the call, we're pleasured to have on the call Rudy-Garcia Tolson, and we appreciate your time. We're understanding you're in Mexico visiting your family and things like that. He is a five-time Paralympic swimmer and two-time gold medalist. He's also Challenge Athletes Fund Athletes Relations Program Manager. And the reason why this topic came up for this month was there's a man named Lee York, and he's interested in swimming. He's kind of a quadrilateral amputee, and so he wanted to know what he can do to start swimming. Also, we have on the call Gabriella. She's also a
Hi.
swimmer, and
Yeah.
she could chip in where she's a double leg amputee, right?
Yeah, I'm above knee amputee both legs. Yes.
All right. So let's start with that question, Rudy. What can amputees do to start on the path to getting back in the pool or back in the ocean or back in the water?
Sure. So, for somebody who has limb loss or a physical disability, we see it and hear it all the time that it's hard to get started. It's that initial first step is typically the barrier to someone enjoying the great sport of swimming. And so, as a Paralympic athlete, my wish for the adaptive sports community is that to get connected, because there nowadays we have a lot of resources and a lot of organizations out there that our mission is to provide sporting opportunities, whether if it's from clinics or if it's from ongoing programming. But it's essentially just opportunities for people with disabilities to participate in sport, to gain the skills and feel confident to go to their local YMCA, their local community center, jump into the pool and feel like they can get a little workout in. And swimming is one of those sports where not much is needed. You don't need too much equipment besides really a pair of goggles and a swimsuit, and you are able to get in the water. Now, that first step for somebody who doesn't really know where to start, I am a huge fan of what the YMCA does across the country. Now,
Mm.
if you were local in San Diego, I would say sign up for the free membership that San Diego Challenge athletes get to go to any of the branches in San Diego. It's a lifetime membership for free for Challenge athletes and their families. But if you're not in San Diego, the YMCA's still have great programs to help teach people how to swim. And a lot of the staff at YMCA's now are trained in aquatics and adaptive sports. And so a lot of times when you have an instructor, it just takes a little bit of thinking outside the box. And it's almost like the individual who wants to learn has to team up with the coach. And so it's not a situation where you're listening to the coach all the time. You got to have a relationship where you're giving feedback to each other, from the athlete to the coach. The athlete needs to be vocal on how comfortable they are in the water and what parts of their body they could still use, because a coach is not always going to be able to read someone's body and know exactly the modifications that are needed. But for swimming specifically, it's I think, an awesome sport, because everybody is in a different level in swimming, whether they're swimming 100 laps or swimming 4 laps, whether they're swimming on their back or on their front. Swimming is one of those sports where everybody does it a little bit different, especially as us as challenge athletes. I'm a double above knee amputee. I'm not going to be doing too much kicking in my swim practice, but I am going to be doing a lot more upper body arm work, technique, to give me a better feel of the water just with my arms. Now, a lot of times when individuals are missing limbs, they have to sort of compromise in a sense of, if I'm missing legs, I know that my hips might sink a little bit. So I might want to use a flotation device around my waist to give me flotation. And if that's what it takes to get into the water and feel confident and comfortable, then that's what should be done. And of course, eventually we want to work towards being able to jump in the water and not need any type of flotation device or assisted device. That should always be the end goal, because you're not always going to have a flotation belt or a pull buoy wherever there's water. Sometimes people want to go enjoy the ocean. Sometimes people want to enjoy the lake. So to be able to have that confidence to go in to any body of water is obviously the ultimate goal. But that first step is typically where, as I said at the beginning, we see the hesitation. And it's also a situation where if you're not comfortable in the public eye and we take our legs off or we take our arms off, that could be a very insecure situation. It can be a situation where you feel like a part of yourself is now missing, and you feel vulnerable in a way. So, in a lot of ways, getting to that first step there's that physical aspect of learning how to swim, but also that mental aspect of people might be looking at you. People might however we construct in our head our insecurities in a lot of ways when we're in public is also a mental barrier that we need to overcome. So by going to facilities that have ongoing training programs and swim lessons like the YMCA, that should be the first step. And you don't need to swim every single day. If you can get in the pool 2 times a week, 3 times a week at bare minimum, the more you do it, the more you will build the muscle memory. And swimming is one of those sports where if you can swim, if you can get that feel of the water and you can remember what that feels like to pull the water with your arms or your legs or whatever you're using to propel yourself forward, that it's going to build. And the more you can do it, the more memory that you will gain with your muscles. And in the long run, that's what brings the comfortability to swimming and feeling confident in the water. So it's going to take time. You will not make massive gains in a week or 2 weeks. You have to be patient with swimming, because swimming in a lot of ways is very scary. If you didn't learn how to swim as a kid, it's one of the scariest sports there, because if you can't swim, you're going to go down to the bottom of the pool and you're not going to be able to breathe, which is not fun for anybody. No one wants to be in that situation. So the more you can get comfortable with taking your prosthetics off, being in a public setting without our whole bodies, so to speak, that's key. And then having the willingness and the patience to get in the water. And maybe the first step for you to do is to learn how to float. Floating is a very important skill for all levels of swimming, because it's really about creating that equalization in the water with your body. A lot of it is your breathing, how you're breathing and how tense you are. A lot of times that works against you. So with swimming, meditation goes hand in hand with swimming. The more you can stay relaxed, the more you could focus on your breathing while you're in the water. Starting out learning how to float first, that's what's going to get you to that next level, to where you could start using, whether you're using your arms or you're using your legs, to slowly propel yourself. And with swimming, you can start in the shallow end of the pool and use the short we call it the shallow end, or you could also call it the kiddie pool area. There's no shame in that. It's a great place to learn and really just gain your confidence, and know that if you wanted to hop in without your legs or without your arms or even with a spinal cord injury, a lot of times you'll still be able to feel the bottom of the water. So you know you're not going to go under. And so that first step of learning how to breathe, focusing on your body position, and just blowing bubbles a lot of times is a great. It sounds very small, and it sounds very beginner focused for kids, but it works for adults and everybody, because again, that idea of being able to jump in the water, focus on your breathing and practice your floating is the first step, and that you can never waste time doing enough of your breathing pattern, of your flotation, because after you learn how to float, the next step is to slowly learn how to move those arms. Or if you just have legs, you can put a pair of fins on to give you a little bit of assistance. Now, of course, as I said in the beginning, the goal, of course, is to not use anything to get in the water, and that will come after time. That first step of going to a swim coach or a facility like the YMCA or a community center that offers swim lessons. That's I mean, you just gonna have to have that will and motivation to want to do that. And then, as time progresses, you learn how to float, you learn how to breathe, you learn how to kick yourself down to the end of the pool. There are a number of adaptive sport clinics throughout the country that I highly recommend looking for. The first step would be going to the Move United website. Move United is an organization based in the United States, and their focus is getting adaptive sports organizations in a place where it's information for people who are just starting. There's a whole map on the website, and depending on what state you're at, it will give you the closest adaptive sports organizations. And most adaptive sports organizations around the country do work in the pool, because swimming and being able to feel comfortable in the water is very important for everybody at all levels and all ages. So, just having that willpower to want to do it, feeling confident and comfortable about taking your legs off, feeling a little exposed, and then really starting on those basics. I think that's going to be the first step to get you on that path of swimming and feeling confident.
All right, thank you, Rudy. We want to welcome Andy Maddox and Rebecca Armenta.
Hello.
Gabriela, when you first started swimming, how was it for you? Did
Well,
some of those things Rudy
yeah, it was
said
funny.
resonate?
Yes, I was with my mother and my sister. We spent 1 month here. I was living in Venezuela, but we spent a month here in Miami in a hotel because they were making my prosthesis at the Jackson Memorial Hospital. So every afternoon we didn't have anything to do, and we would go to the swimming pool of the hotel. I was 6 years old, and my mom and my sister would go swimming, and I would stay in the stairs. So one day I said, I don't want to stay here anymore, and I just started swimming like great. Not in a very technical way, but I moved around, and after that my mom said, no, now you need classes. So when we went back home, I started getting classes, and I really love swimming as much as I can. What I was going to add, that I think for me at least is very important, is it's a sport where it's hard to get hurt. Like maybe when I go out walking with the crutches, if I fall, most likely I can break a leg or something, or depending on whatever you're doing, it's like there's a high risk that something will happen, that you will get worse than the beginning. But swimming, really, if you know how to breathe, for me at least, when I get out of the pool, nothing is hurting. Yeah, I feel happy. I think it's because of the breathing, but normally my mood is really good, and I don't see. It's very hard that I will get hurt while I'm swimming. So it's something that I enjoy a lot.
That's funny, because when I was a little kid and my family would go to the community pool where I grew up, I would also sit on the stairs and watch. And I got to the point like you where I said, you know what, I want to do more. I want to get out of the stairs. I was in my safe zone, and it was very scary making that initial jump to want to learn more. But as you said, swimming is a very low impact sport, and swimming for everybody is different. Don't think you need to learn how to swim like Michael Phelps. That's not how it works. Swimming can be in any method that you feel confident and comfortable doing, whether that's doing the breaststroke with both arms, with your head above the water, breathing all the time. Maybe you feel comfortable on your back and you do both arms doing backstroke all the time, or you could do one arm backstroke. And then of course the freestyle is with the front crawl is what we call it. But the freestyle is I think a great stroke to eventually work your way up to. But in the beginning, there's nothing wrong with, sometimes we call it doggy paddle or the breaststroke. That is, I mean, whatever you need to do to get from one end to the other, then that should be something that we have goals. And swimming is great to have goals, because swimming, learn how to breathe, learn how to float, and then make that next step to maybe have a goal of swimming nonstop from one end to the other. It might take you 4 or 5 minutes. That's okay. It's a point is you make that effort and you set those goals, and you will get faster over time. I would say swimming is very low chances of injury. It's not until a lot of swimmers who do injure their shoulders is because of a bad technique, which means when they swim freestyle, they're either crossing over. So they're not very even. A lot of times in swimming, I like to tell people, think of a straight line going right down your body. And so your body is split in two with straight line. At any point in your swimming, should this arm come on this side? Should always stay on this side, and this arm should stay on this side of your body. So sometimes people swim and they reach all the way over here on the opposite side. No, you want to stay farther out with your body. And of course, swimming when you get to that level to a comfortable position, what happens with your head position is very important. Especially as you swim freestyle or if you swim backstroke. So that's a little bit down the road, but that's just, a little keys there.
Well, someday do you participate in like the Amputee Coalition or one of these events where you can?
I used to. When I was a little kid, I used to go a lot. But working with CAF, we do a lot of swim clinics in San Diego.
That would be cool. That would be really okay. I'll figure out and I'll visit you one day.
Yes, you have to.
Andy, Rudy, me and Andy are actually coming to Challenge Athletes Fund for that triathlon, and
next week coming up this weekend.
Yes.
We both of us are swimming. So how is swimming in the ocean different?
So the nice thing about the San Diego Triathlon Challenge is it is in the ocean, but it's what we call the bay. So you don't have to worry about waves. The water temperature might be a little cold, so I highly recommend getting a wetsuit, because that will help with staying warm. And then a wetsuit will also help you stay buoyant. So that's going to get another kind of added plus if you're feeling a little insecure about the swim. The wetsuit, it's like having like a full body flotation device. So it's like you're on top of the water, you're feeling good, it's easy. Now, the swim in San Diego is 700 meters. So you're going to swim, you're going to go out into the water. And then after 300-400 meters, you're going to make a left turn at the buoy. And then another 200 meters, you're going to make another left turn. And that's going to take you right back into the beach where the swim start and swim exit are. So the swim, I would anticipate not being able to see too much in the water. So you're not going to be able to see the fishes and the sharks. No, there's no sharks. Don't worry. You're not going to be able to see the fishes, but it's there's going to be a lot of people there. So that's another part of the swim, which is an open water swim, that kind of another adds on to the stress, is that there's a lot of people around you. And when people are in a triathlon, they do not care if they run over you or if they happen to accidentally kick you, or it's kind of a free for all. So if you're feeling scared about that part, I would just let everybody go first, let them start, and then you go ahead and bring up the rear. And that'll give you some free clear water. So you don't have to worry about getting run over or have a bad experience. Someone rip your goggles off. You don't want none of that. So go ahead and hang to the side or hang towards the back. And it's really just about getting into your rhythm. So find a rhythm with your breathing pattern. And a lot of the ways, just follow everybody else. So it's kind of like a free pass to kind of just follow everybody. So a lot of times when you're in the ocean and the open water swimming, sometimes you can't see the buoy. Maybe the sun is right there. Maybe it's hard to see. Don't worry, you can just follow everybody, and eventually you will see a buoy. It's a big flotation, looks like a big Dorito. So like a 3D Dorito. So once you look for those, and there's paddlers out there too. So people will have stand-up paddle boards and surfboards around the whole course. So if there's, for whatever reason, something is not going your way, you could always go hang on to a kayak or hang on to a stand-up paddle board, get your bearings, and continue on. If you feel like today is not your day, they can bring you back in, so you're not forced to swim the whole course.
Rudy, is it roped off or is just all open water?
It's open. So in any open water swim, there's really frills. Whew, sorry, that was loud. There's fireworks going on here. In any open water swim courses, there's rarely any type of ropes or flags along the course. It's essentially, while you're on the beach, you can see the first buoy, 300-400 yards away, and that's your sight. And so that's just something that as you're going, sometimes people like to take 10 strokes. They kind of stop, and then they look up to see where the buoy is to make sure that they're still on the straight line. And if for whatever reason you start going off of that straight line and you go too far, the paddle boarders will kind of tell you, hey, get back over, So
Okay.
You're never going to go like completely off course and find yourself in the middle of like San Diego Bay or whatnot. So
No, the reason I asked that is because I've been practicing in a lap pool.
yeah.
I was never a swimmer. I found out about this just about 3 months ago, and I joined a rec center and I started going to the lap pool. Now, it's a challenge for me to swim on my stomach. Not, I could do it,
Yeah.
but I don't have the right breathing technique. And I met a guy there, and he's telling me, don't exhale all the air out of your lungs. Keep about 50 to 60% in your body, and just take, exhale a little bit, and when you turn your head, inhale just a little bit of air. Um, I haven't I haven't got that technique down right yet. So I will be swimming on my back probably the whole time, because
No problem.
I could do the whole half mile, no problem, in the lap pool on my back.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah.
That's not a problem at all. However, you can get down and around those buoys and back to the finish is there's no wrong or really no right way. So if you feel comfortable on your back, I would just encourage you to every few strokes to kind of like take a look back to make sure that you're going in the right direction. But there's going to be so many people out there that you'll probably be able to just follow everybody.
Follow
It
them.
won't be too much problem.
Yeah, because at the lap pool, I got the I-beams I can look up at, and I know which way to go. So
Yeah. No, you'll be
just so
fine then.
straight. Yeah.
You'll be fine. And I don't know if you guys are able. I don't know what day you're coming in, but on Friday morning, there is a open water swim clinic happening on Friday morning there at the Bahia. And then on Saturday afternoon, we have a pool swim clinic. And so Alan and Allison, who Alan couldn't be on this call, but they will be at the swim clinic and the open water clinic to really give advice and to help with people, for that swim. So if you can make it, I highly encourage you to go out, even if it's just to come and watch. It's a great learning experience.
Now, what time is that on Friday morning?
So Friday morning, the open water swim clinic will start at 9 a.m. and it will go to about 11. And that's on the side on where the hotel, the Bahia Hotel is. But all the maps are on the website. So I would go to the website and go to the Community Challenge Weekend, and it shows you where everything is. And then the pool swim clinic on Saturday afternoon is at 1 p.m., 1 to 4 p.m.
Right. That's when I don't know if I was speaking with you. I think you sent me an email about
Probably.
getting fitted for the wetsuit.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
on Saturday.
So I think we'll do that on Saturday or Sunday, or I mean I'll likely have a whole box of wetsuits with me on Sunday morning. But if you're gonna borrow a wetsuit, you might want to try it on and you wear it in the water just to be sure, even if it's in the pool.
Right. Now I know wetsuits are hard to get on.
They are. Yeah, wetsuits notoriously hard to get on because they're supposed to be tight. So wetsuits a lot of times are a workout in itself. But we'll have a whole bunch of volunteer helpers to help with that. So it shouldn't be too much of a problem.
Yeah, because I don't have my left arm at the shoulder. It's gone.
Yep.
And the hand is, I don't have use of the hand. This is all I could do. So I can't grab and pull. So I'm sure someone will be there to assist us with putting it on.
Well, we'll have people there to help. Absolutely.
Okay, awesome.
I haven't so on the wetsuit, did I need to send you an email like personally?
No, are you going to be coming to the open water swim clinic?
That's on Saturday.
That's on Friday.
Oh, Friday.
Yes.
You're not. I don't think you're going to be there before 9 o'clock.
I'm not going to be there until later.
Okay. We can definitely arrange something. Whether it's if we need to do something on Saturday, we can arrange something. So on Saturday morning, I will be at the run clinic in the morning, and then in the afternoon, I'll be at the pool swim. But we will have most of the wetsuits there at the Bahia. So whether we meet on Friday sometime, maybe later in the afternoon, or Saturday, we'll coordinate and we'll be able to get you a suit, because we have quite a few at our headquarters for you guys, for people to use. And then if it fits well, then a lot of times we let people take them home. So.
Rebecca, did you have you tried swimming yet?
Yeah, so I didn't want to interject because I'm not doing the swimming portion. So I wanted to make sure you guys got, information that you needed for that specifically. But I have tried swimming. Now, I grew up swimming. So I'm very comfortable in the water and always have been. And swimming really is not difficult for me. I'm able to get in and either doggy paddle or swim through kicking and move my arms or whatever. I've only gotten in the kiddie pool so far, but the reason I've only gotten in the kiddie pool is because you can walk into it, right? And you can walk out of it. My challenge is how do you get out of the pool? Because I don't know how I would easily get out of the pool if there's not a way to walk in and walk out, right? If it's just a regular pool that just has the stairs along the sides of the pool.
Yes, it is. That is a big challenge. If a pool doesn't have a ramp or a shallow end, getting out is a challenge. Now, one thing that I see people do sometimes is if they have use of a partial use of an arm or their hand, a lot of people, if at the edge of the pool on one side, a lot of times there's the starting blocks where people jump in for competition. But I've seen people use like a small rope and they tie it around that starting block, and so they're able to kind of use that to kind of muscle themselves up. Now, the hardest part of getting out of a pool without any assistance is getting your trunk up on the deck. And once that happens, you can kind of swing your legs over. Not very graceful, but it works. And then most facilities, most pools have to have a lift. That's kind of a nationwide law. So they should have a lift, which is very, very helpful to get in and out, because you just sit in a chair and that will pretty much put you into the water. And then if they don't have that, a lot of times they have a ladder. That's the kind of, and the ladder is kind of hard because if you're not able to kind of grab it properly, you're not going to be able to get that leverage. So it's really, there's really no right or wrong answers, but sometimes for thinking on getting out of the pool, you got to kind of think outside the box, and maybe, a rope tied to the block to help you out, or even ask one of the lifeguards or the staff aquatics to provide assistance. A lot of times they would be okay.
Okay, because I can't grab. I'm an amputee above my elbow on both arms.
Do you have
so,
legs?
Yeah, I do have legs.
I've seen people do it with their legs. The ladder is likely the best way to get out. Obviously, you're going to go really slow, and with your residual limbs, a lot of times I see people kind of do their best to get really close and grab onto just one of the rails, but one step at a time. And I've seen it happen. It takes time. It's kind of difficult, but with practice, it's definitely, there's a way.
Come to think of it, I think I know what kind of ladder you're talking about. I took my dog to a swim day. Here they last day of the pool openings. A lot of the pools open them to the dogs, and so I took my dog, and the pool that I took her to had one of those ladders for the dogs to walk in. It's kind of a gradual walk in for the dogs, and I could maybe do that. I mean, I didn't full on get in with her because people weren't allowed in, but I walked up and down the ladder with her for comfortability to get in,
Sure.
That actually probably would work. I could probably
gotta think outside the box.
my legs up. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And if all pools have those, then or most pools, if they have those.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the ladders that come over the side of a pool?
No, it's more of a gradual ladder. It's on the side of the pool, but it's not hooked to the side of the pool. It's one they take in and out, so they can take it in and out of the water. And it's more of a gradual steps down versus just the steps along the side of the pool, right? That you just have to grab. So it's more of a gradual type steps than that.
Yeah.
I use the ladder like this, but I could imagine you just using what you have left to squeeze on the sides of the ladder.
Yeah, my problem is I have a lot of pain still.
Okay.
And particularly if I push on the insides of my arms, I have a lot of phantom pain, and that just shoots like fires and electricity through my arms. So it's very hard for me to use my upper arms to grip things. I can only grip really well with the bottoms of my nubs, and that would be really hard with the ladder.
Yeah.
That's how I would prefer to do it, Sam. I mean, truthfully, but I guarantee you I'd no sooner touch it and it would probably knock me off. I'd jump off.
So let's say, for example, Lee York, the person that requested swimming, he's a bilateral leg amputee.
Yeah.
He's not going to go swimming with his prosthetics on. How does he get in or out?
Good question.
For someone with so a bilateral, you mean like a double leg amputee or a double arm?
He's a quad.
Quad, all four.
Yeah.
It depends. I mean, there's a few. Some of my past teammates have been quads, and I'm always blown away by how they do what they do. But a lot of it is honestly, as I said, thinking outside the box. Maybe using a piece of rope that I've seen some athletes use their mouth, their teeth to grip on it. But a lot of times, just asking one of the aquatic staff to help is honestly just a great way to do it. And a lot of times they just need help, kind of, if they're able to kind of grip their arms here to volunteer and just kind of lift them up. That's always a way to go. But it's honestly it varies between the individual with their disability, of course, and then also just their level of how comfortable they are and how agile they are without their prosthetics.
Mm-hmm.
When we were at Skills for Life 6 in Houston, when they had that swim clinic there,
Mm-hmm.
do you remember Mike St. George is his name? St.
Ange, yeah.
St. Ange. He just falls in the pool. He's a quad.
Yeah.
Can always do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he just kind of like leans over and just falls in the pool. But he's a quad and he can climb out of the pool as
It's
well.
impressive. It's impressive.
He also has like these prosthetics that he uses that he can put his stumps in and walk on it. He calls them coconut shells.
That's pretty, like a little stubbies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got stubbies too.
Cool. Well, Rudy, I appreciate you taking your time and coming and talking to us. Does
Of course.
any other questions?
Yeah, if I could ask one more question. I was a little bit late joining, and I think I came in when you were talking about the YMCA and like resources in terms of places you can go swimming, whether it be for free or reduced or through support. And I think I missed a little bit of that part.
Sure. Yeah, so I'm a huge fan of what the YMCA does across the country. If you happen to be in the San Diego area, at Challenge Athletes do get free memberships to the YMCA for a lifetime membership. So that's a huge bonus, and that's something that obviously we'd love to see nationwide, but we're just not there yet. But what the YMCA does with their capacity with working with athletes with disabilities, they're very progressive, and they're very instructors and coaches will be very happy to work with athletes with disabilities. And a lot of that, as I said in the beginning, is more of like a teamwork. If you get an instructor, you have to be very vocal. You have to use your voice and tell the instructor what would work and what doesn't work. And then with that, create like a good team and kind of, work through the trial and errors of something like getting out of the water, something like getting in the water, and then of course starting on those basics such as floating. But the YMCA, they do a great job, especially at that first stage on getting people comfortable in the water. And then there's also the organization called Move United. They have a website that has a lot of information about local adaptive sports organizations across the country. And that's a great resource to look to see if there's anything in your area and then make that connection.
Okay. Thank you. When you say if challenge athlete get free lifetime YMCA, how do you classify a challenge an athlete or a person as being part of challenge athletes? Is there like a membership?
No, any and everybody. We're all challenge athletes, so there's no membership. If you have a permanent physical disability, that qualifies. But that opportunity is only available in San Diego, unfortunately. Yeah.
Thank you.
Of course.
Appreciate it.
Of course.
Well, I appreciate you again, Rudy. Appreciate you. Me and Andy are excited to see you next
Definitely.
weekend.
It's going to be a lot of fun. I hope you guys are ready for a great weekend. I think the sun's going to be out. It should be a great day. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. That's what I'm here for.
All right. Sounds
Right.
good.
And I'll be there too, Andy. I'll just be doing the running portion.
Oh,
So
awesome. I'm glad
Awesome.
you're going to be there too.
yeah,
And
yeah, I'm
we'll finally meet
excited.
in person.
It'll be nice. Yeah.
Yep.
It's going to be a
I'm
good
really
day.
looking forward to it.
Yep.
Awesome.
All right. Well, everyone have a great rest of your weekend and a great week. Okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks for
All
your
right.
see you
time.
guys
You too,
soon.
guys. Take care.
Thank you guys.
Yep.
Bye.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.